bring you guys my top 5 Android phones for the first half of 2016. Now I'm actually going to do these in order from first to fifth, mainly because I don't think there's much of a surprise here at the very top. There's probably a little more surprise at the end. I judge the overall phones on their features, their performance, overall everything, the price to value ratio. So especially the price to value ratio, keep that in mind as we go along. And I'll just give you guys a couple things about each phone that I really like and then a few drawbacks to each phone. I've already reviewed most of these, or I have a review in progress. So if you want to check out my other videos on each of the phones, I'll drop them below. I'm also going to show you guys the case that I'm currently rocking on each of the phones. That way you guys can check out and sort of see if you like the case. I'll link all the cases below because people usually ask me about them anyway. Probably not much of a surprise here at the top of the video, and you see it's the Galaxy S7 Edge. This is the Exynos model, the white one. I've also used the Snapdragon 820. I still got a couple Snapdragon 820 S7 Edges left. Probably going to sell one of them, so I have one Exynos and one Snapdragon 820 version. The S7 Edge is just my favorite phone of the first half of 2016. Pretty much everyone, I think, would agree with this. This phone is amazing from the build quality. Just take the case off of it for a second. The build quality, which is all metal and glass construction. The screen is beautiful. Camera's amazing. You get fantastic battery life out of this phone. You got water resistance, dust resistance, micro SD slot. Pretty much everything that you would want in a smartphone, along with a beautiful and innovative design from Samsung. The only drawbacks, in my opinion, are that TouchWiz is not the most polished, not everyone's favorite OS skin, and also the price on this phone started out at $800 on most carriers. That's pretty expensive, so it does lose points for the price to value ratio. But overall, you can get around some of those TouchWiz things, and this phone is just a beast. There's no doubt that it's number one on my list for top 5 for the first half of 2016. The case I'm currently rocking on my Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, I did a video on this case. This is the carved wood inlay case, and you can see that it's got the Penrose triangle right there on that inlay. Very beautiful recessed camera cutout. I'll link it below if you guys want to check it out. At number 2 on my list, a phone that might be a bit of a surprise for the number 2 spot. This is the OnePlus 3. Now, I've only had the OnePlus 3 for about 8 days now, but I've been using it, and I can tell you this phone is worth every penny of its $400 price tag, probably quite a bit more. It really competes with the S7 Edge in a lot of ways. I've been getting fantastic battery life. The camera performs beautifully in well-lit situations. The only downsides for me in terms of the camera are it's a little not as good in the low light situations, of course, because it doesn't have as wide of an aperture as the S7 Edge. But I love Oxygen OS. You've got so much customization, so many customization options when it comes to Oxygen OS. You see I've got the dark mode on with the purple accents. Everything about this phone, it's super smooth. The only other drawback is that the 6 gigabytes of RAM out of the box is not being fully utilized. You can root the phone though and enable a way to utilize that full 6 gigabytes of RAM. You do lose some battery life. The build on the phone is beautiful. You've got an all metal construction. Overall, OnePlus really hit it out of the park this year. They sort of checked all of the right boxes. This year they included NFC on the phone, gave us a nice build. You've got that beautiful alert slider over here once again. I talked about that in the unboxing. I'll have a full review of this phone coming up soon, still working on it. But this is my number 2 smartphone for the first half of 2016, mainly because of the incredible price to value ratio at $400, Snapdragon 820, 6 gigabytes of RAM, beautifully smooth software, what I would call a way above average camera, and also an AMOLED screen that gets very bright outside and gives you some very, very nice colors. The case I'm currently rocking on the OnePlus 3, this is the OtterBox case that I just did a review on. This was actually my last video. So if you have a OnePlus 3 and you're interested in picking up this case, you can check out my last video. Again, I'm going to link it below. I really enjoyed this case so far. Haven't had any issues with it whatsoever. It does add a little bulk to the phone, but otherwise, just a great case for your OnePlus 3. Glad to see OtterBox stepping up, making cases for some smaller phone manufacturers. Number 3 on my top 5 for 2016, the Huawei P9. Now, I did an unboxing of this phone. I really, really like it. This is the phone that I was using along with my S7 Edge as my second phone. I carry 2 phones a day usually before I got the OnePlus 3. The overall build on this phone is probably my favorite build and it's one of the reasons why it's at number 3. Just beautiful, smooth metal on the back. Just really nice machined. You've got this fingerprint scanner, which I like having on the back. The first 2 phones did not have that. You've got the dual camera, which has this really cool monochrome function. It is co-engineered with Leica, which we found out doesn't really mean much of anything, but that's not really a big deal to me. Overall, just the form, function, and fit and finish of this phone, very impressive. The camera on it is great in video. Again, I like the monochrome features. It's got some unique features you won't find on the S7 Edge or the OnePlus 3. And in addition, if you throw a third-party launcher on here, the phone is super, super smooth. The only issue, again, is the software on this phone out of the box. It's definitely not the best. Also, if you actually go into some of the settings, I talked about this when I did the unboxing, Huawei sort of keeps you in the dark about this, but they're limiting the amount of apps that can run in the background. It's very, very annoying. You can go through and just make sure that all of them are running, but that sort of as a software choice definitely bumped this down the list and didn't allow it to compete for the top spot or for the second spot. But everything else I love about it, USB Type-C on here, beautiful build. The speaker here, which is on the bottom, is actually quite loud for a phone with a bottom firing speaker. Overall, a great job by Huawei. They just couldn't quite get into those top 2 spots, but definitely a solid pick here at the 3rd spot. It's also a smaller phone at only 5 inches, so if you're looking for a more compact phone than the S7 Edge or the OnePlus 3, here at the 3rd spot, you'll definitely find it. You'll see that I'm rocking my Huawei P9 naked, no case. That's mainly because I really just love the way this phone feels in the hand. So far, I have not had any issues with it, but hopefully we'll have that going forward as well. I'll update you guys if I do drop it. Also have a few cases coming from Tudia for this phone, so I will do a few case reviews for the Huawei P9 if you have one and you want some cases. Number 4 on my 2016 first half smartphone awards, this is the HTC 10. You guys see I finally got the one that's here in the dark gray, which I really like better. This is a great phone. I've just had a few issues with it out of the gate. If you guys remember, I did quite a few videos on this phone. I had some Wi-Fi issues out of the box, which was really kind of annoying. And then also on this particular model, I feel like the phone has sort of a pink tint. I don't know how easy it is to see. Maybe you can see it from various angles if I show it here in the video. It has kind of a pink tint compared to some of my other phones. If you look at it compared to, say, the Galaxy S7 Edge, if you look at them, you can see there's kind of a pink tint. Some people complained about this with the HTC 10, so that's one thing that takes away from it. But otherwise, I feel like the phone is a pretty good package overall. The software is fantastic on the HTC 10, pretty close to stock. It's nice and smooth. The camera is pretty good. I don't think it's as good as the S7 Edge, and I actually think the OnePlus 3 has a better camera as well. So the top 3 phones, in my opinion, all have a better camera than the HTC 10. That's one of the reasons that it fell down. But I love the build on the phone. I love that curve on the back of it. I love the front-facing camera with the optical image stabilization, which is something that you won't get elsewhere. And I love the software. The software is really, really smooth. So overall, great job by HTC. You also get the Boom Sound speakers. It's the new version of Boom Sound where you've got this bottom-firing speaker where you've sort of got a mini little subwoofer in the phone as well, but it still sounds really great for a bottom firing speaker. The case that I'm rocking is actually a bumper. This is the Rhino Shield bumper. Now you guys know I've done this bumper for quite a few phones. You can see the Rhino Shield branding right there. I haven't dropped the video on the one for the HTC 10 yet. That's coming soon though. The bumper is a huge win as it has been in the past for other phones. Great drop protection, and also the buttons on this particular bumper, fantastic. They just feel really, really nice. So overall, I highly recommend it. I'll drop the link to the Rhino Shield bumper if you have an HTC 10 and you want to grab one below. Number 5, which might be a surprise for some of you, it's the LG G5. Now you guys know that I wasn't the biggest fan of this phone when I originally reviewed it, and that's admittedly so. I sort of had a lot of negative things to say about the modularity, about the build, but at the end of the day, when I was thinking about this list, I was thinking about putting the Nextbit Robin here, perhaps thinking about putting the Huawei Mate 8, the Galaxy S7 Active, but the LG G5 has some unique features of its own that it offers and deserves to be in this 5th spot. Even though I felt like the modularity could have been implemented a little bit better on this phone, let me go ahead and take off the case for a minute. I feel like the modularity could have been implemented a little bit better because it's a little annoying. There weren't many modules available at launch, but LG did try something new, and for that I applaud them. The phone is incredibly fast. I still don't really like LG skin, so I think that's kind of an annoyance, just like TouchWiz for the Samsung S7 Edge is an annoyance. The fingerprint scanner is lightning fast, though. The dual cameras are a unique feature, and you've got the wide-angle lens, which you won't really find elsewhere. The things that mainly detract from this phone for me is that you have this build quality, which I thought wasn't that great. Over time, also, I've noticed some chipping here at the bottom, switching out my battery, and also switching out modules. So that is something that detracts from it for me. But I think the phone is overall very smooth, and if you like LG software and you want that dual camera, you want the IR blaster, these are all things that might compel you to get the LG G5 over one of the other choices, and it's one of the reasons that I put it in my top 5 for the first half of 2016. Currently, I'm rocking the UAG case here. I did do a video on this one. Love UAG's products, so I'll drop this case below if you guys are interested in picking it up. I'll drop it below to Amazon as well as on UAG's website. All right, guys, so that's my top 5 phones for the first half of 2016. If you guys want to tell me what you think about the top 5 Android phones for the first half of 2016, be sure to drop me a comment below. I'll be happy to chop it up. We'll have a discussion about this if you guys disagree with me, etc. Let me know what you think about my points on each of the phones. I appreciate you guys checking out the video. You can find me at dopetechdaily.com, Twitter, Google+, Instagram at the links in the description. You can also find me on Twitter at dopetechdeals, where I have a lot of great deals and accessories and other things for your Android phone. Please like and subscribe if you guys enjoy this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.